Hello, this is Ruth Ann. Welcome to my channel. I'm here going to do a combination empties and haul video only because I don't have very many empties to share. I've been, the last video I did, I had been sick for weeks with a cough, and then I was better for just enough time to go out and visit my grandchildren on the East Coast. And then I immediately, upon coming home, came down with a horrible cold. So this has not been a good year for me for illness. So excuse my voice if I'm sounding like I have a cold, because I do. Anyway, I'm just going to get started with the empties I have, and there are only two. First up, I have an Antonio Banderas fragrance. This is called Her Secret by Antonio Banderas. And this is just a very simple fruity floral. It's very basic, very pretty. The lasting power is maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours at the most. It's just a very easy reach, girly scent. I would highly recommend this for like a gift if you have a tween or a teen girl that you don't know what to get and you don't want to spend a lot of money. This would also be a perfect gift. Like when my girls were teenagers and I was having to buy gifts for their friends when they would go to parties, something like this would be perfect. And it is a tester, so it was right around $10. And for that price, I would recommend it. But it's nothing groundbreaking or signature scent worthy, but it's nice. Next up, I have Taboo by Dana. This is a very Oriental spicy fragrance, very spicy. It's been compared to both root beer and Dr. Pepper. And as I used up this bottle, because I had bought a backup, and so I just quickly used this one up. And I was trying to figure out to myself, which one is it? Is it Coca-Cola? Is it root beer? Is it Dr. Pepper? And the answer is yes. It's kind of a combination of all three. The aldehydes in the opening and the spices really do give it that kind of soda poppy, but there's more to it. And that is a really oversimplification of Taboo. Taboo is a very complex, deep, beautiful fragrance. And it's almost a crime that it's as cheap as it is. And I think that's only because it's a classic. It goes back to the 1930s when it was originally formulated. And it probably doesn't represent its original formulation very well anymore. But it is still a beautiful fragrance. And if you like Orientals, I highly recommend it. There's hardly any perfumes like this anymore on the market. And it's just a real lovely fragrance. So that's it for my empties. Now I'm going to move on to haul. And I've got 10, which is way too many, you guys. I've been buying way too many fragrances. So anyway, I'm going to get started. This is Lalique Amethyst, and this is a well-known fragrance to the fragrance community. And I've had it on my wish list for the longest time, and I finally just bought it. And I'm so glad I did. And part of the reason why I waited so long is because it seems to be a very polarizing scent. People either really like it or they don't. And it seems to be about 50-50. And I wasn't sure which column I was going to fall in. Here's the box it comes in. Very nice packaging. So Amethyst, as you probably know, because it is so well known, is a dark berry explosion. The notes, I'm not going to go over all the notes, but it's blackberry, blueberry, mulberry, blackcurrant, strawberry. It also has a surprising amount of greenness to it. I didn't expect that, but I would describe it as a very juicy, mysterious fragrance. Now, I really do like it. I'm very happy that I fell in the camp of liking it. Really, really beautiful fragrance, very long lasting, and I'm really glad I have it. I haven't had a full wear of it yet, but I did test it, and it's a banger. It's really, really nice. Again, juicy, dark berries, and I understand a bit, I think it's because of that greenness, and there's almost a bit of it starts to go in the direction of being medicinal almost, but that to me is not a turnoff, and it doesn't quite go in the direction of being offensive, but it's really, really beautiful. All right, next up, I have, by the way, just everything that I have today is very affordable, extremely affordable. So there's nothing expensive at all that I'm going to be presenting. This is a very well-known older fragrance. This is by Claiiborne, and this is called Curve Crush. And the reason why I got this, because I had seen some, or I'd read on Fragrantica, I think, that the Curve fragrances by Claiiborne are all very inoffensive, easy reach fragrances that really don't bother anyone. And really, it would be impossible to dislike them, other than if you might find them to be cheap smelling. Now, this is my first Curve fragrance, and I don't find this to be cheap smelling at all, although it only cost about $12. Excuse me. This is a floral fruity fragrance that was came out in 2003, so this has been around a long time. I would describe it as a very cozy, creamy fragrance. It's got a little bit of spiciness to it, but overall it's floral. It's a creamy, cozy floral scent. It's got a bit of vanilla in it, and I would describe that vanilla as being a bit powdery. Very affordable, very girly. Again, this would be a great gift, or a gift for one of your kids, friends. I'm going to enjoy this myself. This is the kind of fragrance that I love to take on vacations with me. And I can just spray and spray and spray and spray and never ever feel like I'm wasting money or I'm being overindulgent, because it's so affordable. And I think that is the best way for a fragrance to be. I don't want to spend $300 on a bottle and then not want to spray it, because that's exactly the way my mind works. If I had a fragrance like that, I would never wear it. With this, I will just cover myself with it and enjoy it thoroughly. So again, this is Curve Crush. Probably cost me about $11, $12. All right, next up I have, this is an oil. This is Skin Musk. And I can never remember the name of this PDC brands. Anyway, the manufacturer of it, for some reason I can never remember. It used to be Prince Match Belly. I'm not sure if it still is. But this is the oil version of the spray. Now, the spray I have talked about a lot on this channel. So I'm not going to bore you with the oil, but it was because I had watched a video by Skin Sense for Fusspots. That's a channel that I really enjoy. And I watched a video where she was talking about this being her #1 fragrance of her whole collection. If she only had one thing to wear, it would be the oil version of Skin Musk. And I thought, okay, well, I have to have it then, because I love the spray. And I know I've tried this like probably back in the 80s or 90s, but I don't remember. So I have skin tested it, and it's lovely. It's very similar to the spray, only it's stronger and it lasts longer. And of course, it's like most or all skin musks in that it really doesn't project much. And so if you wear it up near your face, on your neck and your upper chest, you will be able to smell it, but basically no one else will unless they get really, really, really close to you. So it just smells like sweet, slightly sweet, very clean, sexy skin in the very best possible way. It's very difficult to describe what musks smell like. It's like describe what a rose smells like. Well, rose smells like rose. Musk smells like musk. But this is in its purest, most beautiful form, in my opinion. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's similar to Egyptian musk, more so than it would be a white musk. It's very yellow, very warm, very cozy, and beautiful. So, and very inexpensive. This was under $10. So if you like musks, I highly recommend it. And next up, I have, what do I have? Okay. I don't remember where I got the recommendation for this, but I got it somewhere. So this is Perry Ellis Love. It's a very pretty bottle, a very nice quality bottle, very inexpensive fragrance. It was probably around $22. It's got a really nice sprayer. The cap is plastic, but the bottle is just very classy looking. And when I looked it up, this is classified as a Chypre floral, came out in 2011. The opening is a very peppery citrus, like a white pepper, very clean, happy, summery citrus. It's got a warmer, cozier dry down with the base notes of sandalwood, vanilla, and musk. And I would, to me, it smells like a fresh floral. That's the citrus and the peppery stuff kind of calm down from the opening, and then it becomes this cozy, creamy floral. And then when I looked it up on Fragrantica, it was compared to Chanel Chance, which surprised me. Now, I'm not familiar with Chanel Chance. I think I've smelled it maybe at a perfume counter, but I've never owned it. I have heard way too many things about bad performance with Chance that I would ever spend that kind of money. And I would rather have something like this that's affordable and I get to enjoy it anyway. So if you like Chanel Chance, you don't like the price, definitely try this Perry Ellis Love. All right, and next I have another perfume that I've talked about several times on this channel, but this is the oil version. And this is Ard al Zaafaran Oud 24 Hours. So this is a well-known dupe for Tom Ford's Black Orchid. It is a dark, mysterious, what I like to think of as a black turtleneck sweater kind of a fragrance that you would wear for date night, going out, special occasions. If you're a really exotic person, you could use this definitely as a signature scent. From what I understand, Elizabeth Taylor, when she still lived, loved this fragrance. Not this one, but the original Black Orchid. And so did Michael Jackson. Because it is fairly unisex. In my opinion, it leans more feminine, but it's beautiful. It's got dark berries, dark red florals with a lot of dark chocolate. So notice the dark kind of tone there, or theme, and then also it's called Black Orchid. So it would be exactly what you would expect. And the reason I got the oil, because I have the spray, is because then I can use this for traveling with. Because there's lots of times I don't like to bring a big bottle of perfume with me, but a little perfume oil, I can bring 5 or 6 of these and get through TSA without any trouble. So it does smell exactly like the spray, lasts probably 8 hours, and it's absolutely beautiful. And the oil version, I want to say that only cost me about $6. All right, next up, I have another oil. Believe me, these are not all oils. It just happens to be that that's what I picked up a lot of this month. So this is Jovan Musk Oil. And I've talked a lot about Jovan too on this channel. So I'm not going to go on and on, but this is a soapy yellow musk. So yellow musks are very warm and cozy and skin-like. Smells like sun-kissed skin on the beach. Whereas white musks are much more cold and dry. And yellow musks have a tendency towards sweetness as well, not a sugary sweetness, but more of a, the kind of sweetness maybe you would get from a creamy sandalwood. And this has a wand for application, and it smells just like the spray, only I'd say it's a little warmer and lasts a bit longer. Of course, the Jovan Musk spray has a lot of aldehydes, so you get a lot of that sparkly aldehydic quality in the opening, which of course you don't get with the oil. So this is like take the dry down of Jovan Musk, and then you want to have that linear from beginning to end, right from the start. That's what the oil is like, and it's gorgeous. So I'm glad to have this. I plan to layer it with other spray musks. And I think this could also be used very well to make other fragrances last longer. If you put on the oil and then sprayed another perfume over top of it that had a lot of more musks in it, this would be perfect for that. And also very affordable, probably right around $12. Next up, I have something that I've never seen on YouTube, and this is Elizabeth Arden's Eau Fraiche. And here's the package. So Eau Fraiche, which is French for fresh water. And this is I didn't actually look this up on Fragrantica, but I believe this goes back at least to the 70s or 80s. I'm not exactly sure about that. I could be wrong. This is my first impression, because I haven't given it a full wear, is that it's a dry, citrusy green musk. And I know there's a lot going on there, but it's a very dry fragrance. It's definitely made for summer, or preferred in summer. It's got a citrusy open. There's a bit of greenness in there, but the citrus is more prominent than the green. And then there's a really nice white musk base, and that gives it a very dry quality. So it's not a humidity kind of a fragrance. It's really made for high heat. And that's where I plan to wear it. It reminds me a lot, believe it or not. I thought because of the green notes, it would lean towards Chanel number 19, and it does not. It leans more towards Chanel Cristal. And when I first sprayed it on and wore it, in that sample that I did, I thought, oh, this could be a good substitution for Cristal, because Cristal is now really hard to find. It's very expensive, and it doesn't really perform all that well to make it worth more than $100. But this would be an excellent substitute for it, because it's not very expensive. It was in the mid-20s for a full 100 ml, and I could easily go through a whole bottle in a week, going on vacation, out of town, that sort of thing. So if you like those kind of fragrances, I highly recommend getting your hands on this fragrance, Eau Fraiche by Elizabeth Arden. And let's see, next up I have 3 more to go through. So this is Calvin Klein's Eternity Flame. Eternity for Women Flame. And here's the box. Okay, so I really, really like Calvin Klein's Eternity. It's a bit up in the $30s to $40 range, and I'm not overly happy with that price. I don't think Eternity is worth that kind of a price. It's a very nice, fresh, aquatic fragrance, but this flame version was only about $17 when I bought it on eBay. So how I would describe this is it's a citrusy amber, okay? So it's technically gosh, I don't even know. I didn't look it up. Or either that, or if I looked it up, I didn't write it down. I apologize for that. What is officially designated as the type of perfume, but it did come out in 2019. And there's only 3 notes listed, and it's mandarin orange, sweet pea, and labdanum. And I would say that the sweet pea is by far the most prominent note in this fragrance. I don't notice any greenness like you have in Eternity that you would expect with the labdanum note, but it's got a bit of a freshness. So first off, it's sweet pea. Second off, it's got some freshness to it. And I'd say the third quality is there is a bit of amber, which gives it some warmth and character in the dry down. So an ambery floral fragrance because of the sweet pea. And it's very pleasant. I don't have any complaints. And evidently it's not very popular. That's why it's so inexpensive, but I do like it. That's my first impression anyway. All right, next up. Now this is a fragrance that I heard about, and it was definitely YouTube made me buy it. So there's a channel called, a woman whose channel's name is ceechrinicles. And I will try to link her in the description box. ceechrinicles is one of my favorite YouTube channels for perfume. She covers mostly, if not exclusively, Middle Eastern fragrances. And she described this one so well. This is called Pepper So Spicy. And this is by the House of Fragrance World, which is a Middle Eastern fragrance. But there's nothing Middle Eastern smelling about this perfume. This is supposedly a dupe for a Klein fragrance called Épicé Volees, which I don't know what that means. It spices something. Volees? I don't know. My husband speaks French, and I probably should ask him, but he's busy working, so I haven't been able to ask him today. This I would describe, no lie, as a wow perfume. It's not very often that I try something the very first time and I go, wow, I love this. And that's what this is for me. An absolute love. So this is a fresh fragrance. Number one, it's fresh. Number two, it's aquatic. Number three, it's peppery. And the peppery in here is not the kind of spices you would get from, say, Taboo. It's not oriental. This is more of a white or pink pepper. But it's really in the background. It's not super prominent. And it only gives this fragrance such a wonderful character. Now, I'm also going to qualify my love for this fragrance with telling you this is probably not a safe blind buy. If you don't like fresh aquatics, if you find them challenging, I don't recommend this at all. It's not super expensive. This is probably the most, or definitely the most expensive of this haul, right around $40. But because of the way ceechrinicles described it, I absolutely had to have it. She said it's a little addicting because it's so unique. It's nothing like anything else she owns. And I agree. This is like nothing else I own. The other thing that I love about it, if you are a freshy lover in fragrance, they don't tend to be really good performers. This, no, excuse me. No lie. Excuse me, I got to get a drink here. No lie, the first time I sprayed this, I just sprayed a little bit on my hand, and then I don't know, about 2 hours later, I did the dishes for dinner, and I could still smell this. Like I actually had my hands soaking in water, soapy water, doing dishes, and I could still smell this going strong. So I've never known a fresh perfume to be this well performing. So I am tempted. This is one of these fragrances where I like it so much and I'm so impressed with the performance, I'm tempted to just go out immediately and buy another one, because it's one of these that I don't ever want to be without. And I don't say that lightly, like I really mean it. So, but again, I'm going to say I love it doesn't mean you're going to love it. Doesn't mean it's a safe blind buy, because it is very, very unique. But I am just absolutely thrilled to death with this purchase. So I'm going to stop going on and on about that. And I have one more before my voice completely gives out. This is another Middle Eastern fragrance. This one is called Afshan, and it's by Rasasi. And again, if you're interested in how these are spelled, because you're interested in getting one for yourself, everything will be in the description box below. This is technically a backup bottle, because here's my original, and I'm not quite done with it. I'm only about halfway through. This is clearly a dupe for Chanel No. 5. So it's a white floral bomb, absolute bomb. This is one of the strongest fragrances in my collection. It is aldehydes upon aldehydes. If you like aldehydic yellow musks, white floral type fragrances, this is for you. It's not for everybody. This is definitely what some would call a dated perfume, a classic perfume, a grandma perfume. I don't care. I still love it to absolute death. It has, I'm just going to compare it to Chanel No. 5, because most people know what that smells like. The aldehydes are stronger. They're amped up in Afshan. However, when you first spray it, you get this almost very, very sparkling, champagne-y aldehydes, but it dies down. It does not last forever. It's there for you know, however long the top notes last. And then you get this beautiful white floral, sexy, musky fragrance that lasts for hours and hours and hours. And I want to say Afshan cost me $20, $22, $23 at the most dollars. And that's ordering it from India. That includes shipping. That's how inexpensive this is. So there's really no reason to buy Chanel No. 5 anymore. Once you get to the dry down of Afshan, it is completely indistinguishable from Chanel No. 5. You could go out in public and people say, oh, she's wearing Chanel No. 5. I can't tell the difference. I'm sure no one else could tell the difference, except for maybe a perfumer. They're the only ones that would know. So, like I said, if the opening is harsh, once you get through that, this is Chanel No. 5 all the way. In fact, even from the beginning, I can tell it's a Chanel No. 5 dupe. It's a soapy, white floral classic that I absolutely love. So that is it for my video. And thank you for putting up with my horrible voice and my stuffy nose. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.